guys, this is Basketball Star 1130. As I said in my last video, the Texans and Saints recap slash basically my reactions. This is the second video of 4 videos that will be going up today. Anyways, let's get started. So I'm doing the second game of the doubleheader, which was on Monday Night Football on ESPN. This is a 10-20 game, Raiders and Broncos, a good old AFC West matchup. I didn't think this was going to be a good matchup in the beginning. I didn't think. So let's get started. As I said, I think this is going to be a good matchup from the beginning. Both of these teams are. I thought they would be rough on offense. Okay, so I'll start with the Broncos and the Raiders. Then my thoughts. Then what I thought my predictions were, and if I got them right or wrong. So the score of the game to begin with, the score of the game was the Oakland Raiders beat the Denver Broncos. Raiders beat the Broncos 24-16. I'm gonna start with the Broncos. So I think the Broncos scored 16 points. Yeah, the Broncos scored 16 points. I predicted that the Raiders would win 17-14. The Broncos scored 16, 2 more points than I thought they would score, and the Raiders scored 24. First of all, for the Raiders, their offense was clicking. Like, they scored way more points. Maybe not way more, but they scored one more touchdown than I thought they would. Their offense was very productive. I thought it was very good. I know they lost him to not really lost him, but he was a distraction anyway. I get him out of there. He was released by the Oakland Raiders because he demanded it on Instagram. But the Raiders' offense was very good. Tyrell Williams, he was amazing in this game. Josh Jacobs was pretty good as well. Like, pretty great in this. For a rookie, week 1, pretty great. And then Derek Carr was on money the whole time. The Raiders looked juiced up, and that defense, too. The Raiders looked juiced up, looked ready to go. They wanted to prove everyone that not all their team is centered around the Antonio Brown drama. They wanted to move past that. I think the Raiders were very, very, very good. And their defense was very good, in my opinion. It surprised me and probably you guys too, and a lot of other people that watched are NFL fans or just tune into the games. The Raiders' defense was very surprising to me. I thought it wasn't going to be good, but they rushed the quarterback. They got pass rushers. Maurice Hurst and Benson Mayowa. You probably don't know who those guys are. Probably more Benson Mayowa. You don't know, but I don't think he's good, but this game he was really good. He was getting quarterback pressures. Sometimes he was lining up against tight ends because he's a linebacker. So yeah, and then the Raiders' defense was very, very good in my opinion. Very surprising and shocking how good it was in my opinion. Garyon Conley, the cornerback, he had sustained a neck injury and was rushed to the hospital on a stretcher. He posted on Instagram, the stretcher. Thanks for all the prayers, everyone. The stretcher is just a precautionary measure. I'm fine. Usually neck injuries take guys out for the season and maybe end their careers. But Garyon Conley's so young and he has room to grow, so I'm glad to see that it's not going to end the season. He might be out for week 2 or week 3, but that's about it. Maybe only 2 or 3 games. So I'm just glad that he's back in the field. It wasn't a major injury, but the Raiders' offense was very good, as I said. Now for the Broncos, their offense was wishy-washy the whole game. Sometimes it looked good, sometimes it looked bad. It didn't look great at any point, but sometimes it looked good, sometimes it looked bad. Sometimes it kind of looked in the middle. Joe Flacco was okay, I guess. Emmanuel Sanders, I didn't see any of this game, obviously, because it's a school night, but Emmanuel Sanders was very good when I saw. Or I didn't watch highlights for this game yet, but from what I heard and looked at his stats, I forgot his stat line. Yeah, he was very good. And then let's see. And then the Broncos offense, like I said, they were very kind of efficient at times. I don't want to say efficient, but they were up and down the whole game and then in between sometimes. So I mean, you gotta take that with a grain of salt. It's just week 1. So anyway, I know the Broncos defense. The Broncos defense was kind of disappointing in my opinion. Chris Harris Jr. at cornerback didn't really do anything. And anyway, other than Chris Harris Jr., they don't really have much to begin with anyway in their secondary. All they really have in their secondary big name is Chris Harris Jr. at cornerback. They don't really have any good safeties or other cornerback help except Chris Harris Jr., and then their pass rushers like non-existent. Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, I expect them to have very big years, maybe combined to break the total sack record by teammates. But they were like non-existent. The whole Broncos pass rush. I mean, Derek Wolfe, he gets pass rush sometimes, but he wasn't very good either. I was surprised by Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. They were just getting double teamed like every play, and they couldn't get through it. That's why the Raiders at all time. The Raiders' offensive line held up very well, in my opinion. I think it was going to be kind of rough. Other than Trent Brown, and maybe Richie Incognito, who used to be on the Bills, came out of retirement. Other than Trent Brown and maybe Richie Incognito, they didn't really have any established veterans or good guys on that offensive line, and it held up very well in my opinion. Darren Waller, the tight end, kind of had a coming out party. He's pretty much like he's kind of terrible in my opinion, but he was not terrible, but close to I'll say below average. He's been below average in the past, but he's really good in this game. So yeah, as I'm going to do now, as I'm going to implement at the end of these videos, I'm going to do Player of the Game awards. So first on the Raiders side, Defensive Player of the Game, in my opinion, was Benson Mayowa, the linebacker. He was very good. He got, I think, like 2 sacks and like 4 or 5 quarterback pressures, and then the Offensive Player of the Game, in my opinion, I got 2, Derek Carr and Tyrell Williams. They have a tie because they were both very, very good. They both impact the game so well. If Tyrell Williams can keep this up, he's going to be a very, very deadly weapon for Derek Carr. Now, on the Broncos side of things, the Broncos' Offensive Player of the Game is probably Emmanuel Sanders, because, like I said, he was the only, not only bright spot, but he was the bright spot the whole game. He was the only consistent player for the Broncos the whole game. Joe Flacco was kind of inconsistent, really, at times. Yeah, so, that's that. And then Defensive Player of the Game for the Broncos. This is hard because there wasn't really much defense for the Broncos. Like I said, their defense was non-existent. Von Miller and Bradley Chubb were kind of non-existent. They were getting pancaked out there. They just couldn't get anything going. And then Chris Harris Jr. was kind of he didn't really do anything either. But I'm gonna give it to Chris Harris Jr. just because he's a big name, and not just because he's a big name. He played okay. Like, his coverage skills were good. His tackling wasn't very good, but his coverage skills were pretty good. So I'm gonna give it to Chris Harris Jr. And overall player of the game, I always give this to a winning team. Overall player of the game was probably Derek Carr, because he orchestrated that offense very well. He's very composed, in my opinion, and poised in the pocket. Anyways, guys, tell me what you guys think. Anyways, thanks for watching. This is Basketball Star 1130. Bye.